Rishabh. Good morning. Thank you for coming in for Gravitas WINS conversations. I'm glad to have you here.
Hi Joseph. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Wonderful, wonderful. Uh, Tell us about something about yourself, where you are now, and how did you end up where you are now?
I'm Rishabh and I'm currently 22 and I'm from India and by profession I am a software developer working in one of the startups in Malaysia. So this is what I am right now, as you can see professionally. But apart from that, I also used to do writing and as well as means reading a little bit on the side. But now coming back to your question, like how I came to this point and means what's the journey. So for me, it was like pretty strange and interesting for me. You will not see it usual, but for me it was like I have just graduated in 2020, means in the last year,
Hmm.
and when I was just graduating, I was an intern at one of the startup as well, and it was a startup in India. So I was working as data engineer over there. Means I was intern, but the position was data engineer. So I was enjoying it. I got to learn a lot about data engineering there. Means it was a fantastic job for me. But I was kind of having a feeling like I want to build something by myself, and there is
Hmm.
like yeah, I want to do something by myself, and these are those feelings which I had back then. So when these feelings were developing and means they were back in my mind, I was kind of not enjoying the job because I was not doing something my own, so I wanted to do it. And then I got to know about means building products, having a full stack apps, and then making money from it, and then providing value at the same time. So that's when I got interested in building products, like having a full stack apps. Then
Okay.
I got to know that means there is a way, and the way was to learn JavaScript, or to learn means just to build full stack applications, where you have front end and then you have back end applications. So this was my journey, means like till August 2020, and it was like I didn't know any of the HTML, CSS, or any JavaScript. I didn't did any of these in my undergraduate, which is also
Okay.
surprising. Yeah, because I didn't even touched about it in undergraduation. Then I left my job, which was on means Green Tech. It was the startup in India. I left my job there, and then I decided to pursue full stack development. Means I wanted to learn how to develop full stack apps, and then I decided to leave the job. I left it, and then I started learning it on the side. I was not having a job at this particular time. It was means earlier, very too early in the career as well. Because but I take the leap, and then I learned about how to build full stack apps in like 2 or 3 months, from like September to November, October. So that's when I learned how to build them. I didn't know about any of them before August, I will say. Then I learned it, and then I built a project with one of my friend. I will talk about it later as well. And it was one of our side project, and it's called Tweetflip, and we build it like in 15 to 20 days. Then because of Tweetflick, there is an opportunity that came to me, and that's the job
Okay.
which I'm working on right now. Means it's one of my side project that bring me the job. Means you can say pretty satisfying and pretty interesting job that I have right now, and it came because of my side project which I did after learning the full stack thing.
Wonderful. Thank you. There are so many things that I want to double click on and then go deeper. But uh, you talked about full stack.
Yes.
Can you tell me what is full stack and why something is interesting in full stack?
Yeah. So for those folks as well who are not into software development, or those who are not into coding or these things, full stack, you can say full stack are those applications which are like end to end. They are complete. They provide complete solution. First of all, like we have front end application. Let's suppose front end applications are like those of more marketing pages that you see, the blog posts that you see, the HTML and the
Mm.
CSS that you see. These are the front end. Means this is the front end. Like I am a human, and what are you seeing just now? My face, my body, it's front end, and what's going under the hood is like a back end. So you can think about it like this way. And backend is all about means storing data, and then having your business logic, and then communicating with your front end back and forth. So when you combine both of these things, like when you combine the body and the soul, then you have human. And likewise, when you combine the front end and the back end, you have full stack. So this is,
Wonderful.
yeah,
Wonderful. So that's a good example that I've not heard anywhere. The analogy I've not
yeah,
heard anywhere. So what you are saying is the body and the soul when they join together.
yeah.
So you have already answered the question that I was
Mm,
planning to ask.
mm.
So would you then say all programmers, developers will have to have knowledge of the full stack?
I will not say they should have, but I think it's a must have. There is a difference.
Okay.
Yeah, there is a difference between two, because, like, not as a programmer, but if you are a kind of a builder, there is a difference between programmer and builder as well. Programmer are like who likes to code and who likes to code anything,
Okay. Okay.
but builders are like those who like to build something which provides value and or which solves a problem.
Mm.
So for that as respect, I think full stack development is very very necessary and a requirement, I will say, because at
Okay.
the
So
everything is wrapped around APIs, and everything is means we are consuming the applications because of web browsers as of now, mostly because of web browser, right? So yeah, I
okay.
think this is a must have if you want to have if you are a builder.
So what you're saying is okay. So that's what you are saying. If you are a builder,
Yeah,
full stack knowledge is needed. If you are a programmer, probably you can stay on a front end or a back end. So that's a clear definition.
yeah,
If at all you want to be a builder, you should know about full stack. That's good. So you told that you are now working in a startup in Malaysia.
yeah,
Is that before this COVID and before all of this remote working became a norm now? Was it before that or after that? And how did you end up in that project, the startup in Malaysia?
yeah. So it's after COVID. Just to tell you one more thing, like how COVID has changed things. They were very restrict, means the company that I'm working right now, they were very restrict about having an employee in the means in person office. They were not
Hmm.
about remote. But it's been like almost 2 years they are allowing remote, and now they are hiring remote. So that's just one point. And now coming back to your question, like how I came to this thing and how things rolled out, right? So for me, like as I mentioned, back in November 2020 or December 2020, around that time, I was building a project with my one of my friend. It's called Twitflix. So we were like very strange to each other. Like we didn't know about each other. We didn't meet, and we just came about to know each other from an online community. So we started building Twitflix. It was like 10 to 15 days. We built the MVP, and then
Hmm.
there is one more guy from Singapore. He's a basically a designer. So he was helping us out to build Twitflix. He was giving us some designs. He was giving some tips, or you can say, like suppose you can do this, you can do that. So he was helping us out, and he's also moderator of that community where we met, me and one of my friends. So that's how the project came around to Italy. And then what happened is like this guy, the moderator, the designer who is in Singapore, he posted a message in one of the community like, hey, some company is looking for a front end developer. Let me know if you are available. Then I reached out to him. I said, yeah, I am available. Means, please let me know if there is anything that I can do. So he knew my work. I have already worked with him
Hmm.
on Twitflix, and as well as I have developed one of the free, client project for him for free. So he was a designer, but he needed a developer to code that thing. So I did it for free for him. So he knew my work, and he already knew that like he's good. So what happened is the company that I'm working right now is Pop Mills, and the product manager of Pop Mills is a friend of that Singapore guy.
Hmm.
So the Singapore guy means Fazal Siddiq. I want to name him as well. He referred to me the product manager of Pop Mills, and then we get to know each other, and then we got to in contact, and then that's how I landed up on a means my current job.
Wow. Again, there are so many directions that we can take. So one of the things that I always pursued, or rather the trend that I see, is that the future of jobs or future of career is partnership, the network of partners
Yeah.
or network of experts.
Yes.
So, in the sense that you are an expert by yourself,
Mhm.
in front end, back end, or full stack, and somebody else needs something and they are expert in something else, maybe design.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you all partner together to create value, build value,
Yeah.
and then you reap benefit of it. Now the benefit itself could be dollars, it could be referrals, it could be any of those kinds of stuff.
Yes.
And your example that you just narrated is only proving that particular point. So I'm glad to hear your journey on that particular sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, I can go multiple directions. I'm going to talk about the product that you developed.
Yeah.
How did you get that idea? How did you start working on it? And you said you met your friend on an online forum. So can you take us through that journey? How did you come up with the idea?
Yeah.
What was the starting point of it? How did you find that friend? How did he agree to work with you? Can you take us through that particular journey?
Okay. So when I was learning full stack development, I had like I want to build something. Means I don't
Hmm.
want to just consume videos and I don't want to just passively learn. I want to build something because that's why I started. So I started looking upon internet like what I can build, what should I build. I was like alone and I was means kind of not much directed towards building something. So I have already joined some of the communities on Telegram, which I found through Twitter. So then there is a guy called Shadab who reached out to me, not to me, but in community. Like he's looking for someone to collaborate on some project if anyone is available. And at the same point, I was also looking for someone to build something. Means I think I can do something. I thought like let's do it and we will figure out if it's work feasible or not. Then I reached out to him like yes I am available and I'm also looking for someone to work along with me to build something. Then we had a quick call at that particular time. Means within 5 minutes. Then we decided that we want to build something and this and that. And the call went for like 1 hour. And we got to know that we are almost on the same page or about almost all of the things. Means we were
Hmm.
having same inspiration, same like you can say same motivation. We were like having same like want to build something. We were also means the boat was same or for a both of board was almost same. So then we decided that we will build very fast and we will not think much because we had a conversation in the call as well. Means we didn't we were not able to build something in the past because we were overthinking, and that applies
Hmm.
to both of us. So we didn't want to happen it again this time. We decided that we will build it and we will build it very fast. So what happened then? We both are fan of Notion as well. So he said to me like, make a Notion page and list out all of the ideas that you can think of, and I will list out all of the ideas that I can think of, and then we will see what we can do. Then we did that. We listed out all of the ideas. Some of the ideas were like also we will build a clone of this, we will build a clone of this, because we were not trying to be innovative, like we were not trying to build something which
Hmm.
has not existed. We were not going from scratch. We decided that, for me I think as well, creativity is about filling the blank page as much as soon as you can. Do something, just do something and then start from there. So the like
Hmm.
couple of ideas were there, 4 to 5 ideas were we will build clone of this, we will build clone of this, and we were both heavily tutor user. Then there was an also an idea called let's build a tool for bookmarking to it. And there was an idea called let's build a tool for analytics for tutor.
Hmm.
Like there were many ideas. Then we decided to go with this particular idea, like we will build a tool for bookmarking for tutor. And this is something which has not been existed at that particular time. Means there was no tool in the
Hmm.
market as well, but there was a demand as well. So we decided that we started working on it. He was a full-time developer at one of the startup as well at that time, but I didn't had any job. But for him as well, the means the work at his startup was quite low. Means he was pretty free. He used to just do 1 or 2 hours of work there. So we were kind of fully working on Tweetflip, like full-time job. So we did it. We built it like in 15 days, and then we opened it for the public. Means anyone can come to Tweetflip, anyone can sign in, sign up, and then can use it. So that's how Tweetflip came around. And because we were like made through a community, Then this community moderator Fazal Siddiq also helped us regarding Tweetflick, giving us some initial design, giving us logo, giving us brand name, which is Tweetflick, which also came around from Fazal Siddiq. So that's how Tweetflick went.
Okay. You talked about the community.
Yeah,
So I want to talk about that community. You also mentioned about Shahab, whom you met.
yeah.
Is he from the same region, or is he very different?
He's currently in Bihar.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but he's 27 as of
Where
now.
are, where are you?
I am currently in near Ghaziabad.
Okay. So you are in UP, he's in Bihar,
Yeah.
and both of them are Indians, but then you met through an online portal.
Yes. Yes.
Very strange.
Yeah.
Okay. What was that online portal?
It's called Ramadan Makers, and then there is second community as well. It's called Jam Stack Makers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you find those communities or portals? How did you end up there?
Pro Tutor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what question? So, say for example, if I'm interested in partnering with somebody somewhere, it doesn't have to be on my region area,
Yeah.
right? What searches you did, what journey you went through in Twitter? Did you ask somebody, or did you search, or you were tweeting random and somehow someone referred you to that particular portal? How did you find those portals?
So yeah, basically when I was means in Green Deck, I was also using Twitter like too much. Too, I was using Twitter too much. So that's how the inspiration came as well. Like for me, Twitter is like a sea of aspirations that I can see, right?
Hmm.
And that's what inspired me to build my products as well. So
Mm-hmm.
then there are two, three guys which were talking something like this: building a bootstrap business, building an independent business, and it's called. There is a name for it. The people who do it, they are called indie hackers or indie makers,
Okay. Okay.
and the whole ecosystem revolves around these keywords like bootstrapping, indie hacking, indie making, or you can say means there are so many names to it. So I started searching for those people who are means who are into this
Hmm.
indie hacking,
Hmm.
indie, and then I was surfing through the timeline of those people, of those two three people that I already know. I knew that they are doing it because someone has did it and they have saw it, because it's this is how the cycle works, right? And then I was scrolling through the Twitter, their Twitter. Then I got to know about other indie hackers as well. Then I got to know about
Hmm.
other indie makers as well. Then I got to know about these communities. Means there is a Fazar Siddiq, the guy which I'm mentioning. He's doing these things like independent business, independent side projects for last like 10 years.
Hmm.
So he already has a like following of 15K, which is a quite good number, and it also suggests that he is very easy to find as well, because 15K is a good
Hmm.
number, and you got some recommendation, or you can say someone has retweeted him or someone has replied him, something like that. So then I got to know about Fazar Siddiq, and as this guy runs this community, he keeps on promoting them.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I followed him. Then I got to know about these communities, and then I joined them.
Wonderful. So it's all random and it all happened on internet, right? So
Yeah.
none of these guys are living next to you,
No, no,
or you didn't know them from your college or your friend circle or whatever.
no.
Everything happened via internet
Yes, yes,
and via Twitter,
yes, yes, yes.
right? And no wonder you are calling Twitter as a sea of inspiration,
Yeah,
because all of this magic has happened via Twitter, right?
yeah,
So if I may summarize, or if I may understand your journey, what you are saying is you went to Twitter, you were using Twitter extensively, and you got interested in a concept called indie hacker.
yeah,
And again, you got to know it because you were using Twitter
yeah,
lot. And then you followed some of the indie hackers and indie makers,
yeah,
and there was some common personality always popping up.
yeah,
You went to follow him, and then you ended up in a community that he was building,
yes,
and he's also kind of promoting that community a lot, and he has been doing it for quite some time.
yes,
And you end up joining there, find a partner, develop a tool, and he again helps you find the job that you have now,
yes,
because you have proven yourself because of that particular product.
yes, yes, exactly.
And And all of this is happening how long? A year?
No, no, not a year. Like the means if you talk about browsing Twitter from that particular intention of India hacking, it was from August, and then I got job in January next year, means January 2021. So it's nearly about 6 months or so.
Wow. So within 6 months, all of this journey has happened.
Yes, yes,
That's really wonderful. It's incredible. It shows the power of internet.
yeah,
All that you need to improve your life is just an internet connection. I
yes.
mean, a laptop and an internet connection, and then you can do this. And then a lot of curiosity, I'm assuming, from your side. So if you can join all of those things, that you can do that. Now, tell me something about the owner of that community. What does he do? What attracted you to that particular community? Is it the community content and the members in the community, or the way that he was promoting that particular community?
So the guy name is Fazar Siddiq. He's from Singapore, and he's currently like free work as a freelancer and much more things. Like he do many things, but the main thing that
Mm-hmm.
he do is like UI or UX freelancer, and he works
Okay.
with clients. So this guy is like in independent business from like last 10 or 15 years, and he's working mainly as freelancer. And he also calls him like as Fazar Siddiq as a service.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So now coming back to your point, like what drive me to that particular community? See, this is something which I have realized very early on in my life as well. Means if you, for me, at least this holds true for me. Like if you want to build something or if you want to do something, then doing something with others make it much more easy and much more like affordable and good. At least for me,
Mm. Mm.
so it works for me, and I know about these things about me. Means building something or making something by myself will be a bit hard, but doing the same thing with other will be a lot easy. So I was always in search of community. Then I got to know about this community. I joined them instantly without thinking about them. Means
Mm.
what's gonna happen at worst, like they are not going to kill me. So I joined them, and then I got to know about those community. And I will also say like these two communities are the most authentic, or you can say most good communities that I have ever joined on internet. Like
Okay.
people are really good. There are no scammers there. People are
Mm.
really about building something. Means they are not playing some status game there, and they are really helpful. Too much helpful.
Mm.
Means if you will just
Mm.
leave a question or if you will ask any query, there like you can see responses from 10 to 15 people within an hour.
Mm.
So that's really incredible, and that's why I also joined. Means you can, means as they call it, you are the average of 5 people you surround yourself with. then
Correct.
i
Correct.
then I surrounded with those people who are already doing it for like 5 or years or 10 years. There are people who are doing it for full time. There are people who are doing it along with the job. Means there are so many different variations out there. There are people who have just sold some companies like these bootstrap tools 2 to 3 times. There are someone who are building and own like 5 to 6 tools. So there are multiple different variations of people, and they are all super helpful. So that's how I came into those community, and I find it really means helpful or useful.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. Uh, so what you are saying is this community is a lot more encouraging,
Yeah.
and because they are also in the similar kind of a journey, they are all builders, they are all building, probably indie hackers, maybe they are also having a job and building it,
Yeah.
so they understand your pain points
Yes.
and your hardships and everything. So they are very helpful, encouraging. That's what you are saying.
Yes. Yes.
That's good. So that's how all communities have to be,
Yeah.
which is good. Are you building the product now?
Currently we are not actively working on the development side of things. Means we are not actively working on Twitflip, as like me and both my, means my friend Shadab, we both got a little bit busier means with our day job, and then we have just kind of paused it for a bit of time. But means to the point, we are not currently actively working on
Okay.
it.
Did you meet Shadab at all, or is it still remote and
Yeah.
you're all chatting?
I met him. Like we also went to a short trip in
Okay.
Kasoli. Yeah, in Kasoli. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Good. So your journey is, you are like now curiosity, Twitter. build a product, build a portfolio, and land upon a job, which is basically a pivot,
Yeah.
is what it is. I mean, which is good. Like, I mean, uh, you have found your job, and then probably, like, I mean, that is paying you now. So tell me something about your job. What do you do? Yeah, if
So,
that is possible for you to share. I
yeah,
mean, there are
sure.
no NDAs or whatever. Hmm.
So I am a front-end developer at a company called Pop Meals. So you have heard about Swiggy and Zomato, right?
Yeah.
So Pop Meals is Swiggy and Zomato of Malaysia,
Hmm.
but they are a bit different as well. Means Zomato, what Zomato does is Zomato is basically an aggregator of many restaurants out there in India. So
Correct.
they don't make their own food basically.
Yes.
But Pop Meals, they are not like Zomato, but they also make their own food. They
Hmm.
are not aggregator of different restaurants. Means they make their own food and they sell their own food only.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So it's a operation heavy business. Like you have to make food, you have to means transport it to the outlets. It's like they call it cloud based kitchen model.
Correct.
Basically the meal is being prepared at one is means at one place, and then it gets transferred to all other outlets that we have, and then it gets delivered to the customers.
Hmm.
Previously there were like all delivery means online delivery on online delivery model, but now they are switching also to the outlets mean dine-in experience as well. So
Okay. Hmm.
for me, I am a front-end developer at PopMails, and I basically take care of their web application, which you can see when you will visit popmails.com.my. This is a web application that they have. So I'm basically I take care of it, and then there are 4 to 5 internal tools that we use thoroughly to carry out the logistics, to prepare the food, means to help out our kitchen staff. And then there are also some screens which are placed in outlets, like when you go to McDonald's, when you go to Domino's, you can see there are
Hmm.
one screen which is displaying menu on the dynamic
Yeah.
basis. Then there is a terminal through which you can order as well. And then there are some screens where you can see your status of the your order, means if it's in delivery mode, or like if it's in preparation mode, or it's done, or how much time it's going to take. So these are all of the internal web applications that we have. And I take charge of them, I develop them, I manage them, and that's what I do usually at Popmins.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Uh, how does the remote work? Do you have a lot of conversation? Do you get on calls? Do you have Zoom calls or video calls? How does work allocation and work tracking and reporting, how does it work?
See, the one thing that I love about Popmails is they trust you a lot.
Hmm. Hmm.
And this thing help us to reduce calls and reporting and all of those things by a lot. Because when you trust, then you don't have to peek around, means you don't have to poke your employees every now and then, and what are you doing, what you are up to, when it's going to happen, because you just trust them and you know that they will do their job. So this particular factor has reduced video calls a lot, because I can say that because I have noticed 2 different environments, and that's why
Hmm.
what I have noticed in Pop Mills. So for us, there is only like team weekly call that we have by weekly on the weekly basis, to gather up the team and to means kind of build up the team together. Like we have one-on-ones with our manager, and then there are no other meetings, like
Ah.
only one-on-ones or weekly team weekly meetings, and then there are no other meetings for
So how
reporting.
does how does work allocation happen then?
It's basically all means most of it goes through Slack, but we means we don't uh, go for meeting as much as we can, means we restrict it, we avoid them as much as we can. If there is some problem that some developer is facing, like say, and he wants a help from other, then we just what we do, we come on a Slack call for like 5 or 10 minutes. It's like you Joseph going over to the desk of someone else, and then helping him out 5 or 10 minutes, and then going back to your desk. So this is how means short call happens, but also the frequency is not much, means the
Hmm.
frequency is very low. The all of the things are help means we are managing because of our documentation. We
Wonderful.
have a
Ah,
lot.
okay.
Yeah, we have lot more documentation on Confluence. So whenever something pops out or some problems happen, then we just refer them to Confluence, whatever people means someone else is asking for. So Confluence helps a lot, and we have a rule: don't communicate in private chats, communicate in public channels.
Mm.
Because you talk when you're talking about in private channels, then you and the other people are the only two means you can say holders which can see it and which knew about it. But when you talk about in public channel, then almost everyone is saying it and they know, means they know the context. So when something happens, they don't have to go to that particular person, they can see it in public channel and then they can.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. That's a good practice. So what you are saying is there's a quite a lot of documentation
Yeah.
which is in Confluence. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming it handles all the policy and what the product is about, and
Yes.
also about the tech stack and
Yeah.
the details about
Yeah.
each of those particular stack layer.
Mm.
But the other thing that you said is trust.
Yeah.
Uh, when there is enough of trust,
Yeah.
I can let you work on your own,
Yeah.
and then you can deliver the work. And maybe once a week, have a one on with the manager. And if there are any issues, raise up with the manager
Yes. Yes.
on that one on. That's a fantastic, working model.
Yeah.
Good, good. Okay, now you are working in a corporate environment. Earlier, you were working on your own. Uh, what is the major thing that you've learned in corporate world?
I think to be honest, there was not much difference that I found. That's also because the way pop mills work, because it's like a startup and things
Hmm.
move very fast.
Hmm.
It's not typical MNC like culture where there are like too many processes at the upfront, and everything has to go through them and then you will start working on it. So we means there is one common thing which happens every day on pop mills is like move fast, move fast.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
what
Hmm.
we also did on our side project. But there is one
Yes.
thing which I learned a lot, means there is a very clear distinction. Like earlier I used to think that I am a developer, I am building something, means I should be the one who is doing it and I'm doing it. And I like these are SaaS applications, like these are tech based models or tech based businesses. So I mistakenly thought that it's means it's just tech, and if I am doing tech, then why I need these guys, right? Means I took my job as like I can do this. But then I when I was building Twitflix, I got to know that there are a lot of decisions, there are a lot of thinking that you have to do. Like how to take the product, what's the product is going to be, how do you market it, how do you want to build something, what's the direction that you are going to take, what are the next type of features that you are going to include, how are you going to bring the users, how are you going to retain them. But when you work on a job, what you get, you got a ticket, you got a zero ticket, you got details there. These are the things that you have to do, these are the things that you have to build. Now you don't have to think about anything else. You just have to open up your editor and have to code, nothing else. All of those decisions, all of those product mapping, all of those product management, and they are being done by top authorities. You
Hmm.
don't have to think about anything else. Like you just have to come onto your job, sit on the desk, and then start doing the work and go to home. You don't have to think about what's going to happen if this feature doesn't work, what will if break, what if user doesn't like it. You don't have to think about anything else. That's someone's else responsibility and that's someone's else headache.
Okay.
Right.
Now, that's a very valid point,
Yeah.
which is very true.
Yeah.
But having worked on your own product and having thought through that,
Yeah.
will this feature work?
Mm.
What should be the length of the button? What should be the color of the button?
Yeah.
How will we gain user? How will we retain the user? What will push away the user?
Mm.
You've gone through that in your own product.
Yes. Yes.
That particular knowledge, does it help you in your current job?
A lot, I will say a lot. And they appreciate this as well because means
Hmm.
whenever some tickets come around, I just doesn't start working on it immediately. I first ask question why we are needing it, like why we are having it, why can't we do this way, do this thing this way as well. Like there are many solutions, right? And you can build something differently as well. So I can't do this, why we can't do this, what if we do this, it will help us, it will help more users. So I keep asking a lot of questions, and I also got to know about a picture a lot better. And because of that, you will not believe the questions that a developer asks later in the process, they get reduced by a lot.
Mm.
Because like the context, right? uh, I will also give an example regarding it. Like there was a ticket to develop a web application for one of our internal use case, means to show the ETA of orders to our customers who are sitting in our outlets,
Okay.
right? So it has to be fast, it has to be like there doesn't it doesn't allow a delay of like 1 or 2 minutes, because they have to know like if the order is coming in 40 minutes and 15 minutes. And the frustration, like if the order doesn't come within 15 minutes, if after stating, then you get frustrated, right? So then when I was working on it, when I was developing it, I had this particular question like, hey, I want to do this way, but it will take so much more time. And then there is another way which will take less time, but it will take more resource. So what should I do? Then even without questioning them, without means, if I didn't have asked this particular question in earlier stage, means why we are developing this particular application, then I have asked this question later down after 10 days, which is not a good thing, right? Because
Mm.
then I got, means I worked with my intuition, like this has to be fast, there is no question about it, and then I developed this way, and they really liked it. And then I did tell this particular process to my manager and my, means, product manager as well. They really, yeah man, this is how things should be done, and they really appreciate it as well. And I will also add one more point, means
Mhm.
I'm able to do this, and because like the culture is like that, they allow questions,
Mm.
they allow questions,
Mm.
they allow curiosity, they also allow the
And also,
feedback.
yeah, that's what I was coming to say. They also allow the freedom for you to work
Yeah,
as long as you are doing good for the product.
yeah,
They allow you that freedom.
yeah,
That's a good culture to have.
yeah.
Now, you worked in a side hustle. You gotten a job. Now you're working in the job because of which you are not able to work on your side hustle. What would you say as a conducive environment, whether it is your own life, corporate culture, and everything, taking all of these things together? What is a conducive environment for somebody to have a side hustle?
See, I can't give a general answer here because things
Yeah.
depends a lot on individual. What I will see is
Hmm.
what works for me and what I think will be an ideal environment for me to work on side projects, right? So for me, basically, I have tried both models. I have done worked on side projects on a full time basis, and I have also tried to work on them on, means, like side projects along with the job. So for me, I have noticed that I'm not able to do much, or you can say, put out or pull out the rope when I'm working in a job. For
Mm.
me, context switching is very hard and it's very expensive as well. And I believe in one thing, like if you do a thing for an hour, or if you take an action for an hour, you think that that particular thing has only taken 1 hour from you, but in actual it has taken more than 1 hour. It remains in your head, you think about it, there is a kind of portion in of particular that thing in you. It doesn't only stay for 1 hour, it stays for long. So that happens a lot for me. Like I used to think about things like when I'm working on pop mills, if there is a problem, if there is an interesting problem come around, and I don't have a solution for it right now, it will keep on revolving in my head on weekends as well, when I'm sleeping as well, and means when I'm not working actively, so it remains in my head. And due to which I'm not able to much on my side hustle along with my job. So for me, the ideal environment will be like working on it for the full time, but it's also and kind of a egg and chicken problem. Like to I think you got my point, right? It means to
Yeah,
work
yeah.
on side hustle full time, you have to have enough money, you have to like support yourself, but to do that you have to do the job first. It's like a egg and chicken problem kind of, but for me the ideal environment will be to work on it for full time. But there are also a
Okay.
lot of guys out there who are doing along with their full time, job and having like 5 to 6 tools, working on them regularly, updating them, making money out of them. Like, but it's not me, and I accept it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there are a couple of points that you made, but one of the thing is, I am more like you in the sense that I cannot. I mean, the context switching is takes a long time, so I'll have to think about something for a very long time.
Yes.
So, so the other point that you are making here is that even though you might be sitting and working on something only for an hour, but you have worked on that particular problem for a long time.
Mhm.
This is very true in a knowledge industry.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It is not just the 1 hour that you are sitting in front of the computer and solving it,
Mhm.
but your cognitive time that you have spent,
Yes.
that is nobody thinking about it.
Yes. Yes.
That's a very
Exactly.
valid point that you're, yeah, that's a
Exactly.
very valid point that you're making that. Okay. So this is why I am also very much against the timesheets and all of those aspects, because yes, I am sitting and doing this in 15 minutes,
Mm.
but I've been thinking about it for 2 hours when
Yeah.
I was driving.
Yeah.
Where do I put that particular timesheet?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
And you are
Yeah.
already,
Okay.
you are only paying me for that 15 minutes, which is like not a justice.
Yes, yes, yes. That's going to be an interesting problem as we grow
Yeah.
more and more. Some of the companies are already solving it,
Yeah.
but it's going to be an interesting stuff. So let's change gears. Uh, what are the books or movies or documentaries which shifted your thinking?
There is one movie that I can think of. It's very good, and I means it just shook me like forever. And it was Tamasha.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Bollywood
Mm-hmm.
movie called Tamasha.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I have to name just one movie, it's Tamasha. And if I have to
How
name,
did it shift? How did it shift your thinking?
if you are like watching Tamasha, like it's a very good movie, and it will shift you, that it will make you think about the things which you are not thinking.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
And the thing is, like, currently, let's suppose I am in a community. I'm in multiple communities. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Twitter. Then
Okay.
I'm seeing
Okay.
multiple people like me who are doing
Mm.
something, aspiring for something else as well, working towards them. But in other word, when someone else view from the third point, like let's suppose God, let's suppose just God, when
Mm.
he see all of us, like those who are in my bubble or in my kind of bubble, when he see us from another bubble, he will
Mm-hmm.
laugh like, hey man, these are like stupid people, um, chasing one thing after other thing, chasing one thing after other thing without questioning themselves, without questioning
Mm.
anything. So that particular movie forced me to think about those things which I was not thinking,
Mm.
because at the end it's just all a race. And I at that particular time, I was doing things which I was not much means admiring, or you can say loving doing. So,
Mm.
and that movie taught me to means pursue whatever you want to do or whatever you love to do at any point of time, and do it without any hesitation.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
And
So it helped you. Yeah. Go ahead, please.
yeah, and that's why I also
Go
like
ahead.
left my job as an intern back then in July 2020, because like I was doing machine learning and data engineering for 2.5 2 and 2.5 years. So it's a long time as well, because I did machine
Mm.
learning
Mm.
only. I did deep learning in undergraduate. So if you have to sum up my undergraduate, it's machine learning or deep learning. But after working for on it like for 6 months, then I was not enjoying it, because I was not actually building things, or it was a kind of abstract for me.
Mm.
And some part of me also was not allowing me to quit, because like
Mm.
I pursued it because I was loving it, but then eventually I was not loving it. Then that movie forced me to like, mm, okay, let's do something which I'm loving right now.
Mm.
So I switched the gears. I changed my domain. I went from machine learning to full stack development, and that's why I also quit my job, which was like quite hard decision for me. And My family was not much as well, means they were pretty hesitant as well, but they supported me a lot. They didn't question me, but they were hesitant, means what will happen with him,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think that particular movie shifted me from means pursuing whatever you want and what you really think or love.
Wonderful. So, what I am taking away, I've not seen that movie. So, what I'm taking away from the conversation with you is this movie helped you to step back and look at you as a third person
Yeah, yeah,
and say, is this guy, why is this guy chasing something he doesn't like?
yes,
Why can't he be on a road or a journey pursuing whatever he likes? Because life is anyway hard.
yeah,
So, why
yeah,
can't he go through that particular path of chasing what he likes and suffering in that path rather than suffering and not enjoying whatever wherever he is going? So
yeah.
that's a good thinking shift that this movie has caused you. Good.
Yeah.
What habits help you to do whatever that you are enjoying doing?
See, for me, there is one habit that has helped me a lot, and that is logging my day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Means, what I do, I always have a register with myself whenever I'm working, or even when I'm not working,
Mm-hmm.
and I kept on writing what I am doing at particular instant of time. Like now we are having a podcast or we are having a conversation. This is written in my notebook. Like I am going to have the conversation from this time to this time with Joseph, and on this day. It's like a analog calendar for me. So I jot down all of the thoughts, all of the things that I have been going through, or all of the activities that I'm going, and then I review it. And then the means you will not believe, like one particular activity, one particular action, one particular thought influences your day.
Mm.
And when I review it, I can see like this particular kind of thought happened, and then I can instantly know what are the other activities that I'm going to take in like next 1 or 2 hours.
Mm.
Let's suppose I browse Twitter. I know
Mm-hmm.
when I will open Twitter, I will see a lot of ambitions. When I will see a lot of things to do, like I will do this, I will do that, I will do that. After analyzing these entries from like past week or past month, I came to know that after browsing Twitter, I always think about something for like 1 hour or 2 hours.
Mm.
So I have stopped browsing it. And
Mm.
now coming back to your original question, like how do you think about habits, like what are you loving or what are you not loving? There is one common thing that happened to me when I'm doing something and I'm really into it. I forgot
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to log in those entries in my register. I don't go specific, like for this particular call I can write from this hour to this hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm doing something, I don't remember
Mm.
writing them.
Mm.
Like currently I'm learning design and I'm really enjoying it a lot, and it has happened a lot of time that I forgot about writing them in my notebook.
Mm.
So I think that's a kind of indication to me, like yeah, this is something I'm really enjoying or doing. And you can also tell it by yourself, like how much you are thinking and how much you are really enjoying doing particular activity.
Wow. So, do you log only the activities or even some of the thoughts that occur to you?
On both.
Both.
Yeah,
So, this is a good practice. So, what you are saying is you are enjoying design. So, that's a feeling that you have.
yeah,
But then, because you have logged, you can also validate with data
yes,
that I
yes,
have spent,
yes,
10 hours and I enjoyed it and all of those kinds of stuff,
yeah,
which
yeah,
is a nice feeling. And also the counterpoint to it, or rather in another way it has helped you is if you start browsing Twitter, you might be browsing only for 15 minutes, but then you end up wasting 1 hour because a lot of ambitions, a lot of ideas come
yeah,
through.
yeah.
So you are also able to identify some of the actions or activities or habits or thoughts which hinder you in progressing.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Wonderful. Is the note log with you there? Can you show it, or
Yeah, yeah, sure.
it's not there?
Yeah, sure. Here you can see it. These are like logs.
Okay.
If you,
Okay.
I'm not sure
Yeah,
if
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
clear.
Okay. No, which is fine. I mean, as long as this is good enough. This is good enough. Thank you. Thank you. What's the best advice anybody gave you?
What's the best advice? I think uh, it was by my father.
Hmm.
He told me, like, he used to keep telling us, me and both my elder brother as well, don't ever compare yourself to anyone else.
Mm.
And I will means I will give a lot of credit to this particular thing and my family as well, to whatever I have done till this point or whatever I'm right now, because
Mm.
they have not compared us with anyone else as well, and because of that we have also not compared us with anyone else as well. So this particular
Mm.
thing means has helped a lot, I will say, because I don't compare myself with anyone. Means they say, like, if you want, if there is someone who is ahead of you, you can learn from them, but don't compare or don't means feel jealous, right?
Mm. Mm.
And if there is
That's a
someone,
fantastic.
yeah, and if there is someone behind you, then don't look down on them. There is also one blog post that I have written about this thing. It's called the ladder. Like, life is a ladder, there are so many steps. You are at different steps in different aspects of your life. You
Mm.
are at top at one of the ladder of that particular domain, and you are also at the bottom at another particular ladder. Like, there is a wealth ladder, there is a health ladder, there is a relationship ladder. You will not be on the top on all of them, you will
Mm.
not be on the bottom on all of them. You will be in the middle of something in all of them. There is
Mm.
always
Mm.
someone
Mm.
above you, there is always someone below you. Don't look down on someone who is below you, and don't feel jealous or means compare yourself to someone who is above.
Wonderful. Please share that blog post. I will try to
Yes.
link it on the show notes. Okay. What's the kindest thing somebody has done for you?
Mm, yeah. I remember, like, when I was an intern in 2020 in Green Day, I was returning. It was in Indore. Means I was in Indore at a particular time. So I was returning from Indore to my hometown, and this was the first time for me when I was alone in some other state or means in some other place apart from my family, and then I was coming back to home alone, which is like not much common, you will say, but this was for me for the first time.
Mm.
And this was I just to keep you more context, it was around the COVID time, means in March or April
Mm.
2000, yeah, 20. So it was about COVID time, and I was also a bit sick at that particular time, means I was having a fever and I was coughing. Then when I was coming back from Indore to my hometown, then I was not, means I was very means you can say hungry. I didn't have eat something
Mm.
from morning and I was too much hungry. Then there is someone who was on the road who helped me out a lot. Means I asked him, I offered him some money, like if you can arrange some food or if you can arrange some fruits for me, because I was not able to move at that particular time. So he went there, he used his bike and then bring out some bananas and apples for me for like within 10 minutes. And then I means eat them. I was able to move from there and come to my hometown. Like, I
Mm.
was in another place for the very first time, and I was also not very well at that particular time. Plus there was a COVID time at that particular time, and means that's particular action someone by someone else really, like, it was, I think, was the kind of action that someone has did to me.
Wonderful. Thanks. See, these are, he was a stranger. You were in a different place.
Yeah.
And that's where humanity is shown,
Yeah.
right? It gets manifested there. He doesn't know you.
Yeah.
You may never see him again. You may never give back anything to him at all,
Yeah.
but still he helped you. And probably he also knew that you are sick in some fashion. Maybe you were coughing, or something. He
Yeah.
knew,
Yeah.
but still he came and helped you with that. That's a really a kindest thing.
Yeah.
Good. uh, what's your definition of a living a good life? Not just a good life
Li-
looking back.
Yeah.
but living a good life.
I think it is about doing things which you like, having a time for yourself,
Okay.
having time
Okay.
for your family,
Hmm.
and like just living it without thinking about rewards, or you can say mm, just doing things which you want to do. If I have to sum,
Wonderful.
yeah,
So, if I may, yeah, if I have to rephrase it, what you are saying is doing things that you love without an expectation of rewards.
yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thanks for sharing that. Uh, Final two questions. You are also part of Gravitas WINS course and the community. What do you enjoy about the course and the community?
Talking about the community, the very first thing that I really love about the community is like diversity. The
Hmm.
network, the people, they are like from very very much diverse background. Like someone who is very old, someone who is 50, someone who is in 40, someone who is a product manager, someone who is having his own like company, someone who is working as VP, someone who is a doctor. Like the diverse network that we have and the diverse kind of people means you can hear a lot about their stories, different backgrounds, different stories, different context, different experiences. So this is one thing that I really like about Gravitas Wins community. About the course, there are many things. Means there are so many things that I have learned and loved about the course. Like as you have shared a lot of mental models there. Means the one thing that if I have to talk about one thing, it's like you are not spoon feeding. Means the course is not spoon feeding. The course is
Mm,
giving the roadmaps. The course is giving the, you can say, playbooks. It's making you like as they call it, if you have to guide someone, don't guide them for a life, guide them for a period, and the best guide will be who will you will not need after some time, right? You are
mm.
not like giving us steps, step 1, step 2, step 3. You are giving us those mental models, or you can say tools, which we can apply by ourselves to think about things, to take actions. Like these are the mental models, and now you have the context, you have your own life, you have the conditions, you have the options. Apply them and do whatever works for you. You don't need me anymore. Like you are giving us the meta frameworks. If I have to sum up in one line,
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, where can people find you online?
uh, they can find me on Twitter, on LinkedIn. I am Rishabh underscore Garg on Twitter, and on LinkedIn, I don't remember my username on LinkedIn, but I will let you know the URL.
So I'm
Yeah,
so I'm assuming you are much more a Twitter user than a LinkedIn user.
yeah, yeah. So, and they can also find me on
Wonderful.
Twitter as well right now.
Okay.
So, I think these are the things
Very good.
that
Very good.
I'm active on.
Okay, I will link all of them in the show notes. So you share with me, and I will link all of them in the show notes. Okay, Rishabh, I enjoyed talking to you. Thank you for taking this time on a Sunday morning. I loved it, and there are so many uh, insights that I gained about remote working, side hustles, pivoting from side hustles into a job, and your life experiences. All of those things I enjoyed talking with you. Thank you very much for this time.
Thanks a lot, Joseph. Thanks a lot.